Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another episode of Drugstore Week. I'm loving filming these so far. So for today's video, I thought I would do my top 10 drugstore dupes, which feature a lot of my favourite products. I don't know about you guys, but I think why spend £20 on something when you can get it for a £5? So if you guys want to see my top drugstore dupes, then please keep watching. First up, we have the Kat Von D Shade and Light and the Makeup Revolution Light and Shade. Could have been a bit more subtle with that, but these are so similar. I don't have the full size, but I do have one of the minis, and you guys can see if I just open up the Makeup Revolution one that I have like the coppery shade. You can see they are pretty damn similar. The only real difference for me is like the larger shade. Like the one in the Kat Von D palette is a little bit more pink toned, I guess, and then if I swatch the one in the Makeup Revolution palette, this one is a little bit more orangey. I actually prefer the more peachy shade to the pink tone. The quality of the shadows, there really isn't that much in it if I quickly swatch the more rusty shade. So this is the one from the Makeup Revolution palette, you can see there. And then I'll swatch the one from the Kat Von D palette. I think this one is a little bit more orange tone, so I do prefer this shade. And it is a little bit more pigmented. So as you guys can see, they're not exact dupes. Like I said, I personally prefer this peachy shade from the cheaper palette, but I do prefer the copper shade from the Kat Von D, so it's kind of personal preference. And obviously the larger size, I don't know how much this one costs. I think this one's around like £16 or something like that for the little quad. But the larger size does cost, I think it's like £37 or £36 or something. The Makeup Revolution one costs £8, so you really can't complain with that. They are pretty damn similar, and the pigmentation in the Revolution palettes are really nice. They are a little bit more powdery than the Kat Von D, but that's what you expect, I guess. So this is one of the other shades, just the middle shade here. If I also swatch the black for you guys, the black is pretty black, which I think is really difficult to find on the drugstore. To be honest, I do actually reach for this one more than the Kat Von D. The quality is better in Kat Von D, but then again, you are paying out the nose for it, so it's all down to personal preference. But if you guys are after something a bit more affordable, then the Makeup Revolution dupe is awesome. Next up, we have another dupe from Revolution. You guys know they are the kings and queens of duping products. So the dupe that I have found is for the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia. Obviously, you get a lot more shades in the Makeup Revolution one, but as you might be able to see, the colors are so similar, like especially all of the red tones and things like that. If I swatch a couple of them for you, like this orange shade here from the Revolution palette, if I just put it there, that's the Revolution one, and the quality is better in the Anastasia. But then again, like if I show you guys the prices, the Anastasia one is £41, the Revolution one is £8, so again, you really can't complain. But the colors are pretty similar again with that. Obviously, you can see the Anastasia ones are a lot more pigmented, but if you are just after the colours, and like I said, you do get more colours with this. I think you get like 32 or something. Yeah, you get 32 shadows with this. So if you guys are in the market for just a really nice warm tone palette, this is awesome. Like I said, the Modern Renaissance is my absolute favourite. Nothing will beat this for me, but this does come pretty damn close. The next dupe is for the Benefit Professional Primer, which is like a cult classic. It is amazing, but it also costs 26 quid, which hurts my soul because it's only a tiny little bottle. The best dupe that I have found, there are tons and tons of them on the market. Now you could go into pretty much any shop like a Boots or Superdrug, whatever, and you could find a pore filling primer, and they all pretty much do the same sort of thing. But if you do want something that does actually a bit better than the Benefit one, the NYX Pore Filler is awesome. Like I said, I actually prefer this to the Benefit one. I do really like them, but when it comes down to it, and when I finish both of these, I'm going to be repurchasing this one because the Benefit costs 26, the NYX costs 11, so obviously it's not like the cheapest primer in the world, but you need the tiniest amount, and it's so bloody good. You know I had to chuck in a highlighter dupe somewhere, so this is the Mary Luminizer. This costs £16, and it is amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this stuff is incredible. It's so shiny, so shimmery. It's like the perfect shade for pretty much any skin tone. It's like light but golden but still kind of champagne-y. So the Mary Luminizer is amazing, but it is also 16 quid. And you know what? Just head on into your local Primark, pick up this bad boy, and this is why. I mean, it's so similar. And I actually think the Primark one is a little bit more metallic almost. I don't know about you guys, but it does just seem a little bit more brightening than the Mary Lou. I do prefer the Mary Luminizer formula. It is a little bit less powdery than the Primark one, but get yourself a setting spray and it really looks almost identical. So this one is the Radiant Glow Highlighting Powder in the shade Moonlight Beam. This costs 2 quid, like I said. The Mary Lou costs 16 quid. It's literally an eighth of the price. You really cannot complain. Next up, another one of my favourite dupes is for the NARS Creamy Concealer. I love the NARS Creamy Concealer. You guys know I love the NARS Creamy Concealer, but it costs 23 quid. Like, I even feel bad just putting a swatch on there because that swatch there is probably worth like 10p. It's so expensive and it does not last a long time. This guy, however, costs 6 quid. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and this is such a close dupe. Like, you can see the colours there are so similar. I have the NARS one in the shade Custard. The one I have for the Maybelline one is in the shade 20, and they are so similar and perfect for like brightening under your eyes because they are quite yellow toned. They are honestly identical to one another, but one of them costs a hell of a lot more. So as soon as the NARS one runs out, you can bet your ass I'm going to be stocking up more on the Fit Me Concealer. Next up is a dupe for a bit of a cult classic. This is the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and I actually use this as an eye base. I love this stuff, but if you guys want to save a little bit of cash, this is almost identical. This is the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in Creme de Nude. They also have a few other shades in the matte one, and they obviously do a bunch of shimmery shade as well. So you can probably find a lot of dupes for other MAC paint pots, but if you guys are after a really good eye base, go ahead, pick up the Maybelline one because it is literally identical. I think the MAC one is slightly a little bit more creamy almost, but it really makes no difference into how your shadow stays on. It's literally like skin tone for me. 16 quid versus a fiver. So if you guys are in the market for a new eye base and you don't want to spend the 16 quid, pick up the one from Maybelline. Next up is the Smashbox Priming Water, which I absolutely love. I've recently gotten into this and I have actually used it quite a lot, but you barely need any of this. It's amazing, but it also costs £22, which is obviously up there in price for some people. The best dupe I found is the Freedom Priming Water. This one costs £6. It's not as good as the Smashbox, but if you guys want to try out something like this, then it is really, really good. Obviously, I can't swatch it. You guys aren't really going to be able to see anything, but the smell isn't as nice as the Smashbox one. The smell of the Smashbox, just like, it makes me feel ready. Like, when I put it on, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to put on makeup now. I don't know why, it's just kind of like the first step of my makeup routine, and when I put it on, I'm just like, okay, let's do this. Freedom one does smell a little bit more chemically, but it is still a really, really good primer. Like I said, I do prefer the Smashbox one, but if you guys want to try out a priming water for like a quarter of the price, then definitely recommend the Freedom one. Next, I have a dupe for the MAC Whirl Lip Liner, which you guys know has been one of my recent favourites. So this is what it looks like swatched. I'm sure you guys are all really familiar with the Whirl Lip Liner thanks to a certain Kylie Jenner, but if you want to spend, again, like a quarter of the price, and this one from NYX, it's pretty damn similar. I'd say that Whirl is slightly almost more pink toned, and the NYX one is a little bit more brown toned, but there's really not much in it, especially if you're wearing it as a lip liner. So the NYX liner is in the shade Stripped Down, and there are a bunch of amazing colours that they do. The NYX ones cost 4 quid. The MAC ones generally range from like £13 to £15.50 depending on where you're getting them from, but honestly guys, they are so similar. I literally reach for like whichever one is closest to me at the time because I cannot tell the difference. So if you guys were in the market for the Whirl Lip Liner but you didn't want to spend the cash, then check out the NYX ones. And of course, I can't do a dupes video without mentioning my favourite Freedom Brow Pomade. I don't actually have the Anastasia Dip Brow anymore because I used that one up and I've never repurchased it. I love it, it's amazing. But I just think, why spend 15 quid on a pomade when you can pick it up from Freedom? It's pretty much identical, and this costs a fiver. And the shade I have is medium brown. Again, identical to the Anastasia medium brown, and they do have a bunch of other shades as well. I also know that Makeup Revolution, which is like the same brand, it's all sort of umbrellaed by Tan Beauty. Makeup Revolution also has some of these, so if you guys can't find the Freedom ones, I'm sure the Revolution ones are like identical to the Freedom brand. So if you guys did want to try out a pomade, definitely recommend the Freedom ones. Last but certainly not least is the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. God damn, this stuff is good, but it ain't the cheapest and it ain't the easiest to find. I think you can only order this online or something, so it's not ideal, but this is such an awesome liner. It's super black and I love the felt tip pen. The closest dupe that I found, you guys, is this one from Maybelline. The nib isn't the same, but the product is literally identical. In fact, I think the Maybelline Master Precise Liner is actually blacker than the Kat Von D, which is crazy. The Kat Von D costs 16 quid, the Maybelline costs 6 quid, and it is a whole lot easier to find. Just pick it up in your local Boots or Superdrug. The only difference is the nib. Like I said, the Maybelline one has more of a felt tip, but it's still really precise, and it's actually one of the best felt tip nibs I've come across. The Kat Von D has a little bit more of a brush tip, which I do personally prefer, but like I said, I think the Maybelline one is actually a lot more black, so when it comes down to it, I literally just pick up whichever one is closest to me at the time because I really cannot tell the difference. Okay guys, so those are my top 10 drugstore dupes. Let me know if I featured any of your favourites today, and if there's any products that I haven't tried out that you think are amazing dupes for other products, then do let me know because I am always in the market for a good dupe. As always, if you enjoyed this video, do smash that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you do want to see more of me. I'm posting every single day this week with drugstore themed videos. But apart from that, that's it from me. I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Bye!